Welcome to Red Oak Angus. We're farming around about 3,000 hectares in the Weka Pass, North Canterbury, about 40 minutes north of Christchurch. And it's a big range of country from low sort of downy country to large area of limestone tussock hill country. We run right out to the skyline and down the forestry edge there. That's sort of all just rock sort of country, bit of scrub on it, a couple of blocks that we've bought in the last few years. Just to show you, we run up to about 2,600 or 700 feet. Goes about 2,800 to the high point up there, so we can get quite a bit of snow out here, and this is sort of where the cows and calves, stud cows have to run. Cattle have to compete with sheep on this place. We're running traditionally around about 18 to 20,000 stock units. The last couple of years, obviously, we're well back on that with the dry. Sort of started from scratch, and we sort of ran commercial herds and quite sizable ones. So I sort of feel I knew what sort of requirements we needed in cattle. So my sort of philosophy, we just tried to sort of breed bulls that I like to see, the type, or I'd already been purchasing like sort of New Zealand genetic bulls, both Angus and Hereford sort of type cattle that were doing well for us, and so we decided to get in and buy a few cows with the New Zealand genetics, pure New Zealand genetics in from up Gisborne way, while there was still some genetics left, because I was sort of afraid that we might lose them, and it's purely based around performance. A lot of people today get hung up a bit on EBVs and a lot of the figures that are around, but there's accuracies and heritability things that have got to be taken into consideration, and to me it's all about the performance, your bottom line dollar.
Well, we aim to produce young cattle that we can get away as soon as possible, early maturing cattle with mothers that can produce a good quality calf every year, I guess. If we can get a cow that's going to keep herself in good order and rear a good calf, that's what our goal is.
Yep.
But last year the first lot of 5-star steers were 496 landed down there. This year they were just a shade over 500 at 14 months old, which is not far off where our exotic cattle were. They've been producing really well for us. But as soon as the calf's off mum, they get well fed and they certainly turn that feed into meat, there's no doubt about it.
Just things like, say, feet and structure and, udders and temperament, and there's a lot of little things that, play a big part. A lot of people say, you don't need anything off the head or anything like that, but if it hasn't got a decent jaw or it hasn't got decent structure, they can't get around these hills.
One of the main reasons I buy the bulls from Red Oak is the New Zealand genetics. The environment we're in here is a pretty harsh environment, so there's long, hard, either late summers or long hard winters. So I need cattle that have got like a lot of fat on them. So when I'm buying my bulls, I try and buy a bull that's got like real positive fats in the EBVs, but not that EBVs are everything. Normally your eye can tell you if a bull's going to be fat or he's going to be skinny. So like I try and pick a fat looking bull that has got good for fat covers for EBVs. Because a lot of the so-called American bred bulls, they have the fat EBV, but they're not, their progeny that are tested aren't raised and fed on grass hill country. They're fed in feedlots or grain fed, so it's really not a true perception of what their carcass is doing. Like getting cows back in calf, they've got to have some fat on them to cycle again in the spring. So we really need that fat, because we can have some pretty tough springs here. We get the wind off the sea and it's cold, and we just don't get the growth to feed them. And we're weaning calves that are as good as really high growth rate American bulls.
We do as much actual recording as we can, because showing weighing calves.
35.
We're one of the few studs that actually service test and semen test our bulls.
Here we are service testing bulls. We make sure all the bulls work, and then they're semen tested a few days later. So we have sort of 30 or 40 heifers come on over a period of a couple of days. Here we are just collecting some semen off the bulls. XL boys, Greg, sample.
So what we're looking for here is looking for penile defects, so making sure the penis is nice and straight and not curling up at the end. Also looking for any defects like warts, any persistent frenulum, skin attached to the penis in the sheath.
And traditionally, Greg, how does our semen sort of stack up? Like we sort of go all right, don't we?
Yeah, pretty good. Like, you know, we sort of say generally to people that you'll find, you know, 1 or 2% will fail, but that's not only on semen, it can have defects as well. So very, very small number.
Yep.
But so you're pretty good fertility here. And what we're looking for is checking semen quality. So we're checking for good percentage live, checking for good forward movement, good motility. We're also checking for any abnormal sperm structure as well. So we know that most of the bulls are going to be, you know, well above, what we call a pass mark. So what we're trying to find is really the ones that aren't.
We fully guarantee them for structural soundness and everything, and it's probably one of the main reasons why we get minimal breakdowns. You know, our clients come from a lot of the tougher country. They're wanting bulls that last. We're sending bulls, you know, anywhere from Tolaga Bay to Uranui, right up into the gorges and, you know, the drier areas of Marlborough, and right down to Southland.
We run up to, I think it's about 1,000 metres, yeah, but it's all tussock country. Yeah. Well, here at Montrose, we've only just sort of started in the last 2.5, 3 years, and Ben, my brother-in-law, runs a herd of straight black cows, and I run a herd of Hereford Angus cross, and we're using the red oak bulls basically over the red cows at the moment to get that first cross with the white head.
Yep.
And then as we get further down the track, the straight black heifers are going back to a Hereford bull. The cows are really, really good, and it's great to see them having a fair go after a few tight seasons. I was pretty fortunate to take over a well-bred and good performing herd of cows, really, and yeah, we're having a good run with them, yeah, they're standing up to the test well. Offers good service and always turns up and has a look at what we buy, and yeah, he's always pretty approachable and only too happy to show you around what he's doing down there.
Yeah, breeding, you know, cows that last, you know, we've got a lot of stud cows that are 14 years old and still running around rearing top calves, getting in calf every year and you know, surviving out there. We also mature cow weight the way the cows at weaning as well, and sort of look at the efficiencies there. You know, we want a good sort of moderate sized cow that's rearing a good calf. You know, we have 2-year-old heifers rearing over 300 kilo calves. You know, a lot of our cattle are low birth weight cattle with the New Zealand bloodlines. They've got to be able to handle the extremes, and you know, and we've had a good 2 years of it basically. Despite the last couple of years of drought, we've managed to keep a quality line of bulls. We culled hard early, but we kept the sort of main yearling and 2-year-old sale bulls going through, and you'll see by the size that we've got on this video, we've got a very good lineup of sons by these bulls for sale this year. But you know, we just try to sort of help our clients out as much as we can, and sort of only sort of put bulls up that I'd be probably happy using myself. You know, we like to go around and check them and make sure they're performing, and I take it pretty personally. You know, we try to do everything we can here at Red Oak to make sure the bulls go out and, you know, do the job. And it's been good for me to be sort of part of that, and you know, we can trace some sire lines through and keep a sort of finger on the pulse, so to speak. Yeah. Hopefully, like to see you at our bull sale come June the 17th.